Happiness is a virtue, not its reward. Ambition is the immoderate desire for power. All things excellent are as difficult as they are rare. I do not know how to teach philosophy without becoming a disturber of the peace. There can be no hope without fear, and no fear without hope. Desire is the essence of a man. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free. Nothing in nature is by chance. Something appears to be chance only because of our lack of knowledge. If you want the present to be different from the past, study the past. I have made a ceaseless effort not to ridicule, not to bewail, not to scorn human actions, but to understand them. I call him free who is led solely by reason. The most tyrannical of governments are those which make crimes of opinions, for everyone has an inalienable right to his thoughts. Self-complacency is pleasure accompanied by the idea of oneself as cause. The world would be happier if men had the same capacity to be silent that they have to speak. All happiness or unhappiness solely depends upon the quality of the object to which we are attached by love. Will and intellect are one and the same thing. The greatest pride, or the greatest despondency, is the greatest ignorance of oneself. We feel and know that we are eternal. I have striven not to laugh at human actions, not to weep at them, nor to hate them, but to understand them. Peace is not the absence of war. It is a virtue, a state of mind, a disposition of benevolence, confidence, justice. No matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. What Paul says about Peter tells us more about Paul than about Peter. To give aid to every poor man is far beyond the reach and power of every man. Care of the poor is incumbent on society as a whole. He who seeks equality between unequals seeks an absurdity. Only that thing is free which exists by the necessities of its own nature, and is determined in its actions by itself alone. Pride is pleasure arising from a man's thinking too highly of himself. Be not astonished at new ideas, for it is well known to you that a thing does not therefore cease to be true, because it is not accepted by many. Whatsoever is in God, and without God nothing can be, or be conceived. Insofar as the mind sees things in their eternal aspect, it participates in eternity. Do not weep, do not wax indignant, understand. The more clearly you understand yourself and your emotions, the more you become a lover of what is. The endeavor to understand is the first and only basis of virtue. The highest endeavor of the mind, and the highest virtue, is to understand things by intuition. blessedness is not the reward of virtue, but virtue itself. Reason cannot defeat emotion, and emotion can only be displaced or overcome by a stronger emotion. Emotion, which is suffering, ceases to be suffering as soon as we form a clear and precise picture of it. Know to laugh, not to lament, not to detest, but to understand. He alone is free who lives with free consent under the entire guidance of reason. Men believe themselves to be free, simply because they are conscious of their actions and unconscious of the causes whereby those actions are determined. A free man thinks of nothing less than of death, and his wisdom is a meditation, not on death, but on life. Freedom is absolutely necessary for the progress in science and the liberal arts. True virtue is life under the direction of reason. I would warn you that I do not attribute to nature either beauty or deformity, order or confusion. Only in relation to our imagination can things be called beautiful or ugly, well-ordered or confused. Nature is satisfied with little, and if she is, I am also. Whatsoever is contrary to nature is contrary to reason, and whatsoever is contrary to reason is absurd. Nothing exists from whose nature some effect does not follow. Desire is the very essence of man. What everyone wants from life is continuous and genuine happiness. Those who are believed to be most abject and humble are usually most ambitious and envious. Desire nothing for yourself which you do not desire for others. Fame has also this great drawback, that if we pursue it, we must direct our lives so as to please the fancy of men. When a man is prey to his emotions, he is not his own master. We must take care not to admit as true anything which is only probable, for when one falsity has been let in, infinite others follow. He who knows how to distinguish between true and false must have an adequate idea of true and false. In practical life, we are compelled to follow what is most probable. In speculative thought, we are compelled to follow truth.